Hello and welcome to webinar number 2, or actually I could call it the part 2 of the first webinar because it's the same topic. However, it's the first one that we actually have inside the online school. So I hope everything is working properly. And what I realized just last minute is that if you are watching within the online school, then actually you cannot write anything to me. So you might as well want to click the YouTube link. So there is somewhere on like when the video is showing up, so that it will actually the same video that it will open up in YouTube. And once it does, that you actually go there and then you can also write me a comment. So if that's working for you, if anyone is able to get to the chat, I'll just be happy if anyone writes something. Oh, yeah, you are. So it's working. So maybe it's working from the school, or maybe you're in the YouTube. I don't know. We're going to figure this out eventually. You know, it's like I said in the previous webinar, that one of the lessons that we need to learn is definitely how to use the technology, because even though it's so nice that it looks more superficial, it's a lot of work, and it takes quite some time to actually get it properly, to understand how it works and all the extra stuff. How are you people? I hope you're good. I hope you're energized. I hope you're feeling great. And I will tell you that this webinar is, the more I was preparing it, the more I realized that every single thing sums up as one lesson. So I was like, wait a second, where are those 5 lessons? I put them in 5 lessons, but like all together is one lesson, because this is the true lesson that I believe we all have. So maybe it's just my perception. I see this lesson everywhere, or maybe not, but I'll just give you all the information, everything, and you can decide what you want to take from it. Hello, Mate. Hello, Mommy. So yeah, it's working. Awesome. And what we're gonna actually like dive into today is especially the understanding of the energy exchange that is happening when you are a coach and when you are there a leader. It's not even just a coach, it's like anyone that is on this path, anyone that is on the path of awakening, on the path of being your own source of happiness. You probably are one of the people in your let's say like around your friends that is the only person that is doing this. This is very common, that you are surrounded with people that have no clue what you're talking about, what we are talking about here, and that they see you as a leader. They see you as someone being the next step, being on a higher level, and they are coming to you for advice. So anyone that is on this path, sooner or later you become certain kind of leader. And once you're a leader, if you really want to lead, there are some rules that is good to follow for your own benefit. It's not like a rule that I would say, oh, you're not going to be successful if you don't follow it. No, it's like you're going to be burned out if you don't follow it. It's that kind of rule, because this is the hardest lessons we all have to learn, is that even helping others is addiction, as we were talking in the previous one. So the previous webinar, we covered more or less about my story, and then we also covered the first lesson, which I believe is that you're not here to save the world. And the funniest thing about this lesson is that everything actually shifts as soon as you realize that you're not here to save the world, and you start having fun and you start enjoying it. And at that point, you actually become like the changer of this world. that's when it's actually happening. But as long as you want to changing, nothing change. And I think that we have the same lesson in relationships, in family, everywhere where we are exposed to another human being that we feel like they should change. As soon as we realize that it's not our job to change them and we just change ourselves, what happens is that they see us as a different human because we change the energy field, we change something around us, and they will see it eventually, and then they will be like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you so different? Like, why are you smiling all the time? Are you on drugs or something? And that's when they will be open for changes because they will see the result in you as well. So as soon as they see the result and they are the one coming and asking you, what, how did you do that? Can you teach me? That's when you are changing the world. But if you are here like, I need to change the world, and whoever you meet, you're like, you have to read this book. It's so good. It's going to change your life. You have to do that. You have to do this. What you do for people is actually you become their parent. And as a child or as just children, we never liked our parents telling us what to do. It was like, oh, they tell us to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else instead on purpose. And that's what's happening here as well. If you're going around and telling people, you should do that, you should do that, you have to read this book, you have to go to this seminar, and you try to push them into changing, nothing will change. As soon as you step away, change yourself, you start changing the world. So this is a sum up of first lesson, which I do believe is a crucial, and it's also the base of all the other lessons, and also the sum up of my main lesson that I'm gonna tell you soon. Alrighty, so what I realized for this webinar is that I was so busy with content creating, not only for this webinar, but for other stuff happening right now in my life, that I forgot about promoting it. And yesterday I was like, oh shit, I have a webinar tomorrow. Oh, did I even send the email out? It was like, oh no, I didn't. So everything is last minute. That's how life is when you are trying to do too much. So that's what we're gonna talk today. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen, even though I wasn't very sure. Oh, here we go again. No, not lesson 4. Go away, go away, go away. I think you saw this already. Play. Okay. Did we covered everything here? Yes, I think we did. I deeply believe that we are here to have fun. Like, I deeply believe that. And this was actually one of my first limiting beliefs that I changed on a subconscious level. And that was like, I'm here to save the world. That was like my strongest one. And as soon as that changed, I change it, like whenever we are changing the limiting beliefs, those of you that been on any of my courses, maybe Heal the Love Gene or Decode Your Life, whenever we were changing the belief system, we always replace the belief that is like kind of limiting for us with something that is empowering. So what I did is the first limiting belief I ever changed was, I'm here to save the world, with I'm here to have fun. And what happened with me is that I felt for the first time that I know how to have fun, because every time before I just felt like this deep urge to help everyone, and I saw this world as being something like super damaged. And as soon as I knew, like, oh, there's like so many people hurting, there's so many like stuff happening here, and even if I was hurting myself, if I was damaged myself, I still want to save it. And that's, I believe that this is very limiting belief also from the perspective that you cannot save anyone if you haven't saved yourself. Like, if you are still hurting, if you are still wounded, if you are still afraid to be who you are, how will you help someone else being who they are? And I'm not trying to like talk you out of sharing your stuff. I'm just trying to talk you in to working on yourself more. And I'm not just saying working regarding like reading the books or listening to podcasts, which is all a good work, but the sooner or you will dig into deep spiritual world where you're gonna look into the situation. Like, for example, if you have a trauma of abandonment, of like someone rejecting you or someone leaving you from their life, from your life or whatever, it's like you have this stored within you, and it's usually because somewhere in the past it happened to you already. So whether when you were a child, whether it was something that it wasn't maybe even that significant, but you as a child give it a very, very huge meaning. And as soon as you give that event a huge meaning, what showed up is that this inner child, like this small child, when this happened to them, to you, is still within you. It still lives in your energetical place. So whenever you have a situation in your life that is kind of similar to what happened there, or it gives you the same emotions of rejection, you will have, it's kind of like this would be a trigger for this inner child to actually wake up. So then you cannot control your emotions and you become this like terrible person when in your head you're actually saying to yourself, calm down, it's okay, it's not so bad. And you can see it from an adult perspective that it was nothing too bad. However, because of the inner struggle or this inner struggle of your child, because you are reliving the event happening there, that's why you actually feel like you are dying, or that, you know, it's like it comes up and you cannot let it go. And this is totally a subconscious reaction. And there are so many reactions that we have whenever we have a proof from the outside that we did something wrong, or that someone doesn't like us, or that someone said something bad about us, or that someone is against something that we are doing. It will just trigger you and keep on triggering and triggering and triggering. And the only way how I was able to get above it was, first I went above it with anger. Because the map of consciousness, which I believe we were like putting it up previous time a little bit, on the map of consciousness, the actual anger is much higher than being hopeless or feeling guilty or shamed. Anger is a pretty high vibration. And from anger, when you're angry and you're like, I'm gonna show them, like, I can do it, it's very easy to tap into pride, which is also a very higher vibration from anger, which is like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna show you. So you're proud of yourself and you hype yourself with pride. And then the next vibration is courage. So you tap into courage and you're like, I'm gonna do it, even if I'm scared, even if I don't know how it's gonna happen, I'm just gonna do it. And you push yourself on the other side of the vibration, which is like a more positive one, and you are able to tap through it. However, if you are going to live your whole life going through this process of emotions, even though anger is higher than feeling guilt and shame, it's still a low vibration. And it takes a lot of your energy. It's not empowering, it's draining. And if you're going to push yourself to do something through anger and through pride, you're gonna lose a lot of your energy. That's why the only real way how to get rid of it and how to being okay with doing things that other people don't like it is that you actually heal the original wound where this is coming from. And as soon as this is healed, you'll see that you need much less energy to motivate yourself to do something that is against people or against someone around you. So yeah, that's something that came through me just right now. And the way I'm doing this webinar today is I did, I'm going to explain you later when we come to that lesson, but I did, I tapped myself into the stream of infinite intelligence, which is like through a meditation, you can guide yourself to connect with the source energy and then even command that the source energy use you as a channel. So even though I planned some stuff that I want to say today, I said that like I'm going to open myself up as a channel. So whatever is coming through me today is directly for people listening right now. So whatever message you need to hear, it's you are here. Like you are here for a reason, and I'm talking those things for a reason. So yeah, we're going to change the world when we stop believing that we need to change it. Let's go on. Lesson number 2. Okay. Lesson number 2 is people say know your worthiness. But I believe that the most important lesson is that to realize that you need to choose it. It has nothing to do with knowing it. It has nothing to do with like other people telling to you how much you're worthy or how much you deserve to charge or how much you deserve to be rewarded for. It has everything to do with your choice. And with that being said, I do believe that we set the bar for ourselves and we decide what kind of coach, what kind of leaders we want to be. And here I want to clarify some stuff. The world is like, there's 7 billion people and many more coming. And I don't even know like how many people I would say the percentages that they're leaders. But I can definitely know that there are leaders needed on every level. So let's say, for example, and this, like, there is no judgment here. I'm just using the examples for creating the picture in your head, but just as an example so that we can understand this clearer. Like, let's say that there is a group of workers working together in a factory. And in the factory, there are usually people that are having less education or they are just less motivated to push through and get their dreams. However, I'm 100% sure that on every group of workers, there is a person that people can point out and say, this is our leader. Or this is the one that we go to if we need the advices. So, and there was like, in every kind of environment, you'll find leaders. So you can just go up through this like ladder of, let's say, social success or however you want to call it, and go through the whole things, like the whole ladder, and see that on every single level, you'll find the leaders. And it's the same thing with coaches. There needs to be coaches for every level. And I realized this when I was starting in my career, and I was too afraid of charging or like putting myself out there or even saying I'm a coach, because it was like, I mean, this industry is still like so not, how should I say, there's no rules. Like, you know, you don't need to have a certificate to be a coach. You just put it out there. You just write it on your Facebook profile that you're a coach, and you're a coach. So there is absolutely no rules, which is kind of like, it gives it a good industry to be in, because you can definitely start from a scratch. And I do believe that coaches are born to be coaches. However, when I started and I was afraid to do it, I met a lot of coaches, and when I was listening to their content or even seeing their life, because I do believe as a coach, your main reference is your life. So it's like kind of walk your talk. And when I was looking at their life and the way they were living and the way they were thinking and how it was hanging out with them and all the negative thoughts that they keep on having, I was like, how are you the coach? Like, what happened here? Like, how can you even be a coach? How can you even call yourself a coach? And I felt so much judgment within me. But then on the other hand, I was like, let's be honest. If there is a person that is so depressed and so low in motivation, and they don't know what to do with their life, they're like, they don't even know how to break through or even find any motivation to just wake up in the morning, it's very unlikely that they will reach out to have help from someone that is super happy, or someone that is like world-known coach and it's like the best in everything or whatever. They won't even see this possible, because they will feel like the barrier between their being where they are and the coach that they are having is too big. They will see, I can never become like them, so what's the point? However, if we find a coach that is the next level from us, which can be any kind of level, it will resonate more. And I always say, like, to every client that wants to work with me, I always ask them, do you like me, like the way I'm functioning? Do you like the way I'm thinking? Do you like the way I'm living? Because that's what you're gonna become if you keep on working with me. Because you will use me as an example, and whatever you are like trying to reach, that's what you're gonna reach. So be sure that you like my mentality. So whenever there is a person that is super depressed, they won't reach out for someone that is so happy and so joyful all the time, because the energetic barrier is just too big. So there need to be coaches on every single level to help every single one on this planet. So we need them from the point when you're even, if you are judgmental, you will say, how can they even be a coach? To a coach that can actually handle the, let's say, the top CEOs and the most successful people in this world. They need to be a coach for everyone. So choose your worthiness, choose your values, choose where you want to be, and set the bar for yourself. And like, that's the first thing that I would say, that every coach, if you are starting, and even if you are already in the business for a long time, I do believe it's good to rethink it every 3 months if it's still something that you want to do, or if you want to do any changes. And once you know the bar for yourself, who do you want to coach? And to help you choose it, I would say that your life is your example. Your life is kind of your story, your self-speech, your exact thing that is showing you what is the right thing to do, or what is the right thing to promote. So you are in your life experiencing stuff that other people are experiencing as well. And based on where you were when you were feeling the lowest and where you are right now, think about this story and create it I would say create it in a way that you feel like you master whatever you are teaching or whatever you are charging for. Here I wrote the like little quote that I live by. I live by as a coach, which is charge for skills that you master and teach what you are still learning. And to clarify it a little bit, what I mean by charge for skills is like, let's say, I'll just give my example so that you have a better perspective. The things that I'm selling out to people, so the things, whatever people can buy from me, whether it's my online course, whether it's my like high-end program or private sessions, what I'm selling is something that I already mastered, something where I feel like there's absolutely no chances that I fail them. And I know that this is something that I'm so good at that I don't even have any problems charging it. So let's say for me, this thing is how to shift the perception and create this unconditional love and happiness within yourself. So I'm 100% like, I have 100% confidence that whoever come my way, I'm able to shift the perception of their life in a way that they become their own source of happiness and love, because I mastered this for myself. And I saw this in any kind of stressful situation I put myself into, that no matter what's happening around me, I'm always able to tap into this good feeling within me. So what I can also charge them is the process of awakening, because I've been through this process. I know how it is when you are stuck and you just feel so down and you feel like everything is just going down, 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 down the spiral. And I know how to create that shift that will put them up the spiral and create them a new perspective of life and teach them how to be their own creator. So those are all the things that I feel like I'm master them, and I have no problems charging for it. However, there are things that I'm still learning. And for those things, this is what I'm usually teaching in stuff that are free and teaching in like online videos, or I mean Facebook videos and all those things, because I just don't like, if you are not 100% sold on your program, sold on your teachings, and you know that you're walking your talk, it's very hard to do the sale. It's very hard to even ask for enough money that you feel like that's how much I want to charge. However, teaching it is learning. Teaching and talking about it, it's learning for you. So the more you teach, the more you talk about it, the better it is for you. So from my perspective, what I feel like I'm still learning is the selfish principles. I feel like I'm still learning how to be like this, how to tap into divine selfishness, how to say no without feeling the guilt. I still feel like I'm learning how to really protect my energy. And that's why I'm teaching it the most right now, because as soon as I've said it out to other people, as soon as I'm preaching it, it's kind of like, okay, so you said this, okay, now do it. And with teaching it, I'm learning. And the more I learn, the more I've come to the stage where I feel like, oh, now I master that. And as soon as I'm going to have a feeling that I master my like selfish principles, or that I master this like really taking care of your energy and everything, that's when I'm going to feel like, oh my God, I want to create this online course, or I want to offer this program, because I feel like now I'm a master in it. And if you follow this rule, you're going to attract clients. Otherwise, people will feel like you are still not walking your talk. And if you're not walking your talk, it's kind of like your words are empty. your words are empty and they don't land in people. So if there's anything you can get from here is that you look at your life and think about the stuff that you master, that you absolutely master them. It's like there's like, yeah, you can wake me up in the middle of the night and I'll be able to do this, like, or I'll be able to like teach you how to do that. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't need to prepare. It's within me. And those things that you are mastering, create a program around it, create something that you can charge people when they come to you to like change their life. And as soon as you do this, you will also realize what are the things that you're still learning, and you can just start talking about it through Facebook Live, through Instagram Live, through all those social medias, and learning at the same time. And this is like a kind of the way the cycle works. And the more you master, the more you can actually charge. But the process is in teaching and learning as well. But it doesn't mean like that once you're a master, you're still teaching. So you just keep on going deeper and deeper in the same topic, and you just keep on mastering more and more and more. But there is something with about this, having this feeling that you mastered it. Because as soon as you have this feeling, you are like, oh, this, I can charge like $1,000 per hour for this thing, like so good. And once you start believing in the big value of your things, there is absolutely no limits. And you choose what kind of coach you will be. And be sure that your price that you're going to set is going to determine what kind of coach you are. If you're going to put the low price, you're going to attract the low-key profile of people. And if you're going to set the bigger price, first thing you have to do is actually promote yourself where people with more money are gathering. But other than that, it's like if you're able to promote yourself in the right audience, there is no limits in the prices or the things that you can offer if you believe in it. But there's also a thing that I wrote here: take responsibility for it. Whatever value you're going to place on yourself, take responsibility for it. It's not just mastering the topic, it's also all the thing that comes back like behind as a human responsibilities that we have. Like when you say something that you're going to deliver to them tomorrow, deliver to them tomorrow. When you have sessions, be committed to have sessions, all those things. But I'm not going to talk about because everyone is talking about it. So that's it. Lesson number 2. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, I'm going to keep on questions for the end. Yeah. But if you have any questions, you can write them in a comment already, and I'm going to come to the questions in the end. Alrighty, let's go on with the lesson number 3. I don't even know what it is. Dang. Oh, this one is my favorite one. Lesson number 3 is, I touched this one a little bit in the previous webinar, I think. Or I did always, because this is the topic that I love the most, and the topic that I also believe that I master the most, is be your own source. And that includes being your own source of clients and money. No matter how strange this sounds to you, but it's true. No one's gonna come and save you. No one. And you will realize this when you're gonna realize that you're not here to save the world. You're gonna at the same time realize that no one will come and save you. It's like this lesson is, it's all about the energy that is the energy exchange and everything that is happening here. let's say, when you're feeling lost, frustrated, depressed, sad, anger, whatever, you are depleted from energy. That means that you don't have enough energy to feel good, to feel love, to feel joy, to feel happiness. And there are only two ways how you can get this energy. One way is that you get it from another human being. The second way is get it from the source, which means get it from this higher realm, like from the universe, from God, from infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it, but from above. So the way it works is the majority of people is taking the energy from other people. They are like, we are kind of giving the energy to each other. And yes, there is always enough if we keep on doing this, but there are also the things when you're going to feel so depleted, especially after your sessions, especially after your like workshops or any kind of interactions with other people, because people will see you as a source of energy and they will want more from you. But the first part is to know that you will have to be a source of energy for others. You just have to be, because others, until they learn how to tap into their own energy, they're going to feed up on your energy as a coach. You are actually, your job as a coach is not only to provide them the right questions to ask themselves, or to provide them like this shift in mind, or just to provide them the right knowledge. Your job here is to give them the energy so that they can learn how to solve this problem for themselves. I hope this was clear, but I'm just going to clarify it. Let's say clients come to see you, and they're having this terrible situation happening in their life, and they're like, oh, I'm so stuck, I don't know what to do, blah 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 blah. And you can clearly say that they are at the vibration of feeling fearful, feeling guilt or shame for where they are, and feeling hopeless for getting out of it. If you want to create any kind of shift in them, it's not going to be enough for you to just say to them, it's going to be all right. But you have to shift their perception so that they will see the bigger picture and that they will be able to see it from another perspective. The only way how they can see it from a bigger picture or another perspective is that they get to the bigger or higher vibrational level. Because from the vibrational level of fear, the only things that you can see is things that can go wrong. So you will have to raise them up. And this will happen with your own energy. So it means that we do this automatically. Don't worry, you don't need to learn how to pour the energy into the client, because you're doing this already. But I'm just trying to let you know how the energy exchange is working so that you can learn how to do the changes for yourself. So when you are talking to them and you are trying to get them to the different perspective, what you are doing is that you're pouring your energy into them. And with that energy, they're slowly getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, until the point when they're like, oh, I get it now. All I need to do is be grateful for this experience. Oh my God, you saved my life. Blah, 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 blah. So this is how the normal coaching session looks like. However, what you have to know, or maybe even say to your client, is that the thing that happened during the session was not sustainable, because they had your energy, and until they learn how to tap into into this energy by themselves, they're gonna keep on being addicted to your sessions. I hope this was clear, but this is the way how we change the energy of each other's, and we can do it very, like, as a coach, you are a natural giver. You just spew this energy into others, and it's every session, it's kind of like, even if you don't want to do it, you always do it. They will be lifted up. And most importantly, I believe that this is one of our responsibility, is not only to realize that you are your own source of energy and love and appreciation, blah, blah, but also to teach them that they're the same. And I believe that majority of coaches are not doing this. And I only know around 500 coaches. So this is a pretty big number, I would say, for knowing them personally. So I'm not like saying that I've been to all of their sessions, but it becomes so addictive to be the source of energy for others. And this is one of the sideways of coaching. So let's clarify those things. Let's say, because you know now what's going to happen with every single client that you're going to have on the call, or any single interaction when you're helping anyone, like, it doesn't need to be a client, you're gonna get them their energy, and afterwards you're gonna feel depleted, period, like, always. And then it's your responsibility to get yourself your own, like, energy, and not get it from other people. So if you're a coach, if you're a light worker, anything like this, it's your responsibility to learn how to be your own source of energy, so that we can bring more energy to this world. Because otherwise we are just like making each other depleted and feeling drained and feeling tired. So what is kind of like a must for you is to I'm actually covering lesson 4 and lesson 3 together. Protect your energy like it's your source of life, because it is. So what you have to do is, before the session, make sure you are full of energy. Make sure you get the energy from above down. And how to do it is, like, it's very simple. All you can do is you can either just put some meditation music on, or just do it in silence, and imagine yourself going all the way up into the white light. If you are familiar with my meditations, you even know the process, how we're going up. And then once you're in the white light, just start tapping this light into yourself. Or even the easiest way you can do it, and it works as well, is just close your eyes and imagine a white light coming down from the heaven, coming down through your crown chakra into the body and filling all the body. And then imagine the same white light coming from the center of the earth up. So just imagine like you are fueling yourself from above, from below, and you're getting yourself up. And do it and imagine it as long as you don't feel like there is the boost of energy, excitement, joy, like start lifting up within you. And what happens often is, if you are a source of energy for other people, so let's say that you are gonna share the love with all your family and friends, you're gonna have even more, because it's kind of like you are asking on their behalf. So the universe is sending you more energy so that you can supply them with energy as well. So what you can imagine in the next step, after you get the energy from above and from below, is that you also imagine sending this energy to all your friends, to all your family, and then just kind of like spreading it around the world to all the countries, and kind of seeing in your meditation the world getting all filled up with unconditional love, and just like there's a white light covering everything. when you're going to do this meditation for yourself, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it for sure. So if you do this before and after every single client, then you're good. If you're not doing this, well, it's very likely that you're going to have all of a sudden 3 hour naps after the session, or you're just going to feel so drained, like you just run the marathon. Because it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And if you believe that you want to have a lot of clients and that you want to have a couple of sessions per day, well, when you're going to have them, you might say that it's not such a good idea. But what is more important in this lesson 3 is that other need to find out or learn how to be their own source of things. And I would say that this is the only measurement of whether you are a good coach or not. If you can create leaders, if you can create someone that is standing firmly, strongly, and doesn't need you on every few days to fill them up. Because as long as they're addicted to you, you are just manipulating them for giving you their money, and you're not really helping them. You're just making them addicted to you. And there is a lot of coaches doing that. And without judgment, there are like all the soul lessons that people need to learn. So it has to be like this. But I do believe that, since this is one of my deeply beliefs, that we all need to tap into our own stream of love, that this is also kind of a responsibility of coaches to do, to teach others how to do this for themselves. But again, until you are mastering this, until you know how to do this for yourself, you're not going to be able to do it for anyone else. And I think that the question here, I don't know if this is some of you or it's just my spirit guy saying to me that I need to clarify this. A question that I hear here is like, how can I be my own source of clients and money if it depends on other people? Yes, that's my question probably like 6 months ago, or a year, it doesn't matter. However, how can you be? Well, the secret is that you will attract your clients and your money based on the amount of energy that you have to provide it to others, and with the amount of worthiness that you set for yourself or choose for yourself. So if you don't learn how to be your own source, then you don't have much to give to people. So this means that you can only get to other people what you learn, what you get from others. So if you are not your own source of energy, you will get your clients the energy that you get from other people, if that makes sense. So you're not going to get it from above, you'll get it from other people and then pure it into a client, which means that you cannot handle a lot of clients. And that means that the universe won't send you a lot of clients. No matter what you do, you just won't have them. And the more you will try to push to have them, the more sales you'll try to do, the more exhausted you'll feel, because you will go against yourself. So once you become your own source of energy, you finally start having enough to supplying a lot of people. And once you're able to supply a lot of people come. And then depends on the worthiness that you choose for yourself, that's how much money you're gonna have. Because if you choose for yourself, okay, I'm just like gonna charge minimum for the sessions and that's all I'm offering and that's it, and I just hope I'm gonna have I don't know, 20 sessions per week and that's my life. Well, first thing, it's like 20 sessions per week. I don't know how you do it. But second thing is that it will take a lot of energy, and it will just give you enough to survive, if so. Um, and it will just make you more and more depleted. So it's very, very important to choose how to um, like position yourself with prices, because as I said, based on how you're going to position yourself, is that's what kind of coach you're going to become. If you're going to become a coach for CEOs, then of course you're going to have a different price than if you are a coach for like someone dealing with depression in being a worker. And not saying that CEOs are not depressed, because they're even the worst. However, it's just like you have to be a different kind of person to attracting CEOs versus to attracting someone that is a like factory worker. So that's your choice. And once you choose for yourself, and once you are the equivalent of the energy needed for your to support your choice, that's when you're gonna attract the clients and money as well. And yes, please learn others how to do this. Like, it's one of the most important. But I do believe that once you're gonna learn yourself, you're gonna feel the importance of it, and you're just gonna keep on saying to others and saying to others, and you're gonna get obsessed with it, just like I did. Yes. Lesson 4, which we kind of covered. Maybe I'll say a few more things. Is to protect your energy like it's your source of life, because it is. And with that being said, is the previous time we were talking about the changes that are happening in the world, and how the life is changing, and how the earth is going to a higher vibration and all those things. The way you will be able to get to a higher vibration, to have more energy, to be more filled with energy, is if you're gonna be more whole as a soul. Or I would say, if you have the more soul you have integrated in your body, the more you are the more you are full, like like full of love, full of happiness, full of whatever you want. And this gives you more health, it gives you more clarity, it makes your brain function better. And it also gives you more of this like creative impulse of just what you can do. And as I was saying before, that you can choose your worthiness and you can choose the level of coach you want to be. There's absolutely no limits, because if you start pouring the energy into yourself and being and like also healing all the wounds that are taking your energy, because everything that is not healed in your life has your energy there. So let's say you being 3 years old having this nasty argument with your father, your energy is still there. It's like if you dig deep into spirituality and go into parallel worlds and parallel realities, and tapping into like that there is no time and no space, it means that everything is happening simultaneously. And even like in the quantum physics, they prove that time doesn't really exist. It's like such a relative thing. And if you look at it from a different perspective, it means that everything is happening at the same time. So that event happening there, if not healed, if not released, it's still there. So that's taking away a lot of your energy. So all those things that were like kind of bothering. And then not only this, we have the ancestors line, which is connected to wars, which is connected to like all the fights and all the scarcity happening. And we have this in ourselves. And it's like, let's say, for example, there's a lot of even you listening here. Yeah, there's a lot of you listening here that still have a huge fear of talking your truth out in the world, like exposing yourself and preaching what you think and sharing your light with others. And this often comes from the ancestors of the, let's say, when it was deadly to tell your truth because someone can kill you for it. So all the like time in the war, if you said too much or someone was jealous of you or anything, like a neighbor could just say, oh, you know, this guy, he did something bad to me, kill him. Or, you know, it was this, like, this is still stores within us. And whenever you want to stand up in front of people and say what is on your mind, the ancestor line and the DNA goes like, oh, I might be killed if I say this. And then you just shut up. And you're like, no, I don't want to, I better not do it. So the more you realize that it's not you who is crazy and is not able to do the step, it's something bothering in you within, the more you can like just slowly let it go. And there's like so many healings that you can do, the guided meditations, and the more you do, the better it is, the more you actually are getting healed and the more your energy is restored. And all the energy that was lost in any kind of past traumas and past lives and past events happening, the more you are restoring this, the more you are having it, and the more you're able to the more soul you have it here, the more you are fueled from above, the more you're able to share it. And that's why you're going to attract more people that's going to want to work with you, that's going to come and want to give you their money because you are the source of energy for them. And this is how it works. This is why people have a lot of money, because they figure out a way how to support and be there for a lot of people. And if you just keep on increasing your energy, those things will come to you. There is no other way. It's a must. But you will have to do the human action as well. It's not just like you gonna, I'm gonna meditate at home and stay at home and not tell anyone that I exist, and people are gonna come and knock on my door. Well, that's not gonna happen. It's like we are still here and we still live in this human world. So you have to put yourself out there. You have to say to people, what do you have? Like, what can you offer? And one of the things that just came to me was that when it comes to what can you offer, like, think about the price that you want to charge. And let's say there's no limits, because there isn't. But choose a price that you want to charge for your services that you feel comfortable with. It's like, it's a little bit scary because it's bigger than what you thought you can charge, but choose the one that it's like still like possible in your head. And once you have the number, and it can be like, let's say you charge this per month or you charge this per session, whatever you choose, and then ask yourself, what do I need to offer to be comfortable in saying that this is a cheap price for whatever they're getting? And then figure out like how the program should look like, how the thing should look like, what can you offer to them that they will feel like that what they're paying is not much. And then be unique. Don't be like other coaches. Don't go just online and share the stuff online and wait until the people in your inbox shows up. Because it's hard, because the online market is full of coaches, and it takes a while to build a relationship with people there. Go somewhere where there's no coaches. Like in Slovenia, for example, I was doing a lot of workshop in corporate world, just because no one was talking about these topics in the corporate world. So even though I got a lot of strange looks from people in the audience because they were not used to this kind of topics, doesn't matter, because I still got the gigs. And just like go somewhere where there is not like where it's not a lot of competition, be the first one, and just have in your head that personal development itself, I don't even know if there's 5% of people in the world in the personal development. The last data that I have, but I think I'm 100% sure that they're old, at least 3 years, is that there's 2% of people in the personal development industry of the world, so that ever heard about the personal development industry or that are going to the seminars and trying to improve themselves. So even though once you are in the personal development industry and you want to improve yourself, it kind of seems like it's everywhere because everyone is doing it, but that's because that's your vibrational level, that's who you are, and that's what you start attracting around yourself. However, like, there's nowhere, majority of people haven't even heard about it. And try to offer your services when people are not having coaches yet. Like, why doing the same as others? Like, do it your way. And that definitely, and I mean definitely, helps a lot. That's some of my business coaching here. I didn't know I'm gonna go there, but anyway, let's go on. Protect your energy. Okay, we have this. Lesson 5. This is the lesson that I feel like it sums up all the other lessons, and if I just talk about this one, I cover everything. Embracing the divine selfishness. And I put the divine selfishness because it just seems so nice. Like, this divine selfishness. It's not like you are a narcissist, and it's not like you're manipulating others to get their energy. It's like you are saying no to people and you are listening to whatever feels right for you. And you're your own hero, and you just like lead by example. You don't even care about other people. And that's the funny thing, is that the more I start being my own source of energy, the more I stopped caring about other people, what they're doing at all. Like, not even what they're saying about me, but what they're doing. Like, if they would go and decide, like, let's say my friend would decide, oh, you know what, I feel like I want to go back with my terrible boyfriend. I'll be like, yeah, sure, do that. Why not? Like, I mean, it's your life. You have your choice. Like, just don't interrupt me with my choices, and I'm not going to interrupt you with your choices. And the more I did that, I felt like there's nothing to judge with other people because I don't want to be judged. I'm like doing things that feel good to me. And if I'm not feeling guilty for it, then I'm not going to judge other people for doing their stuff. And there is a whole booklet that I wrote about selfishness, which is going to come to the Selfish Contributor online school. I'm going to start posting the blog posts, which is going to include every selfish principle like by itself. And I would just like, I believe that majority of them are easy to understand, but the last one is that when you are really selfish, you help others spiritually evolve as a soul. And this is the one that needs more clarification. That's the one I'm going to cover today. And this actually means that, let's say, if you are the source of energy for others, you tap into your own source, you know how to get the energy, and you become the source of energy for other people. If you just keep on sharing your energy without setting clear boundaries, without saying no to people, without saying to them like, you know what, you've been complaining too much already. I helped you, I stand by your side, but now you have to do your stuff. Without being like this, other people will never grow. there is just no way they will grow, because every single one of us have to learn how to stand up by themselves. And sometimes, like, there's a quote that I really love, and it says, don't ruin other people's rock bottom. Like, don't do this, because then the only thing you do is you prolong their lesson. Let's say if someone is on the rock bottom, they came to the very lowest of their life, and they want you to just be there by themselves like 24 hours per day and just like keep on saying to them, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. They're never going to learn the lesson. And how you know if you need to help them, if you need to stand by yourself, and when you need to go, is only by listening to how you feel. If someone asks you for help and you're like, oh, I was right in the middle of something, I want to finish this, and they're asking me for help, and they say that it's urgent, and usually, I mean, there's often urgent because they feel terrible. I'm not saying about the health situations, but when they feel like, oh, I cannot be by myself anymore, come to my place because like I feel like so lonely and it's urgent. Well, this is a situation where you clearly know that you want to finish this because you feel the irritation of even thinking, oh, I'm going to go away and not to finish this. So this is a way when that's example when you say no. But then on the other hand, you're going to have the examples of when someone will come to you and they might be a complainer. They might be like someone that is like always stuck and feeling drained and like they don't know what to do. And you're going to feel the sudden urge of helping them. And you're going to feel such a big inspiration, like, I can help you. Let's do this together. Let's go to do this. Let's do that. Like, let's spend the day together and just have fun. And you're going to feel extreme excitement and happiness for doing this. That's a sign when you have to say yes and help them. So knowing, like, and I think this is the hardest lesson for us to learn, knowing the balance between helping and moving away from them. And it comes to the, like, let's say if you really want to be a good coach, you're gonna have a client, and that's gonna happen like as soon as they become a little bit too comfortable with you. In the beginning, they're very nice, they're like doing everything you said. When they become a bit comfortable and they're like, oh, now she's my friend and she's okay, and it's like, yeah, I'll just say that I was lazy and I couldn't do it. And as soon as you spot them being too lazy or just having too much excuses for doing stuff, if you're a good coach, you have to come back to them sharp and saying, you know what, I think we're going to cancel today's lesson just because you are not even like fulfilling the stuff that we said you're going to do the previous week. So what's the point of us going forward if you don't want to? And if you are okay with being stuck, I guess. So I'm not going to keep on telling you the same stuff all over until you're going to improve them. Like, we decided you have to do that and you didn't. So you have to be sharp with them. And this is like the hardest lessons that we have, is knowing when it's time to help them and knowing when it's time to set the clear boundary and leave them alone. Because if you don't do that, if you don't set the clear boundaries, like, hey, now it's enough, now you go and do yourself, like, that's when you are like, I mean, if you don't do it, you're just going to be energy depleted, but you're also not going to be a good coach because they will just keep on feeling like terrible. And then in the end, it becomes like a session of complaining to each other or there to you, and they're not evolving. And they didn't pay for that. Everyone that pays for a session, they know they have to do some changes that are not necessarily going to be nice to go through. So it's your duty. And if you look at the biggest coaches in the world, let's say if you look at Tony Robbins, if you know his work, he can be such an asshole to some people. Like, he can really be hard, like very harsh, like very, like even like he will call you on your BS. He will call you on your on stuff, and he would just like not use a single excuse for you not doing the thing that you said you will. And even though it creates a lot of pain in people when they hear, you know what, you are just an ass full of excuses, that's why you're not growing. But when people are hearing that, they feel like, oh shit, like that's true, like they feel terrible, they feel ashamed and guilty and whatever. But that's going to give them enough momentum to move from this place, because you accumulate more pain for being stuck where they are, that they will finally move away. And the very good realization is to understand that complaining and being stuck can feel good and can be addictive. So if that's what happened with your clients, you have to be sharp and you have to cancel them. And you have to, like, for example, I was in the beginning having clients where I felt like if they are buying 3 months with me, I'm giving them a message support as well. And then let's say they will have an emergency call. And they will just use this emergency call for every single stupid excuse that they could find. Because it was so easy to just call me and I'll fix their problems. But the more it started happening, the more I was like, oh shit, this is something not wrong. Like I'm here in a dinner and they are calling me and I'm like, I have to answer, or I felt like I need to answer. Until I was like, hey shit, like this is me doing to myself like a big disservice here. Like I need to set the clear boundaries. So yeah, divine selfishness is something that is so, so crucial. And I know I'm going to record webinars in the future on this topic as well. But so far, I just want to... No, the study. Kissy. Come on. I'm just trying to get the camera on. Back to me. Can you come back? Hey. So let's see if we have any questions, or if you have any questions, like you can write them down now. I have it open. But divine selfishness is something that is coming a lot in the future, especially like how we help souls evolve. Because if we really want to be evolved, then our happiness, our joy, everything is just unconditional on the outcomes. And we are our own source of it. And this is exactly what the whole spirituality is about. It's like you have this line, let's say line of spirituality. And you start at this point with being totally identified with who you are in this world and seeing what you see with this eyes. So this is this line. You think you are your problems, you think you are everything happening around you, and you just feel stuck. This is here, people just seeing this small, tiny world living here. And then you have the line and you keep on evolving and seeing bigger picture, all the way until enlightenment, which is only like, I would define enlightenment as something as being totally detached from things that you see, or totally detached from your ego, totally detached from what's happening, and feeling your real self always. But they say like there's like, I don't know, like everyone's saying differently, but let's say 7 or 14 or 12 or whatever, who you want to listen, of levels of enlightenment. But they say that once you are reaching the like last level of enlightenment and you are living in this like real glory of not identifying with this ego and with this realm here, but tapping always up, that means that your time here is I mean, it's done. Like, you will have to transition somewhere higher because your body won't be able to handle this high emotions because it's too much to be enlightened in this body. So usually people that reach the enlightenment, they transition into a fifth dimension. It means that they die. So yeah, if we are still here, still living, like, we are far from it, have a long way to go. And it's not even like, sometimes I even ask myself, is it a point for me to just get enlightened? Because if I get enlightened and I know I'm just gonna go, like, bye-bye, what's the point then? You know, it's like, I want to be here, I want to learn, I want to do stuff, I want to, like, teach people and learn myself new things. And when I feel tired of being here, then I will go, like, when I'm 90, 95, I'll be like, okay, fine, I'm finally gonna be enlightened now so that I can go. Yeah, so no questions so far. Well, if you have any questions, you can just write it down. Otherwise, I will come back to it later. But one thing that I also wanted to say, especially to my Slovenian friends, is that Heal the Love Gene course that I was telling you about the previous time, which is coming out, I said 1st of August. I'm still challenging myself to do it 1st of August. I will. But I just have it confirmed that there is a Slovenian group gonna be for Heal the Love Gene, which is a different way, the way we're gonna have it for English people, because English people, they will have to watch the recordings of me and just do it by themselves, versus the Slovenian people, I believe it's for the last time, even though I said this for the previous group already. But whenever someone is there that says to me that they wanted to have it in Slovenian language without because they don't know English too good, then if I have enough people, I'm doing it in Slovenian. So I'm gonna have the last group so far, definitely until September, the last group of Heal the Love Gene in Slovenian language, starting second week of August, which is I think we are starting on 6th. So that's Monday, 6th of August, or maybe on 8th. It depends if I'm going to go on one event on 6th. So it's either 6th of August or 8th of August we are starting, and it's a 1-week program, and we are having a group calls. So it's like, it's not like here. It's actually going to be like me talking and you being this corner and this corner and this corner and this corner. So like 3, 4, 5 people, how many, doesn't matter how many it's going to be. And we're going to talk. So it's like, it's lectures, and it's also like you speaking. So it's more direct and more profound. So yeah, I'm doing this for Slovenians. So if you are interested, just drop me a private message, because I don't have a webpage for Slovenians separately. And that's it. If you have any questions, let me see. No questions. So there's no questions. The only thing I would say to you for the ending is one thing that I really deeply believe in, and I encourage every single coach to go for it and believe in it, is that you can do it as you want it. Like, your coaching business can be totally as you want it for yourself. And I'm really like trying to do the same for me. So I'm like trying to get as far away from rules as possible. And the big realization I had since I moved to Whistler is that I want to start doing more and more things offline. So having the workshops, meeting people one-on-one, versus having these things. Even though I'm still going to have webinars and everything, I just don't feel currently to committing. Like, even like this webinar, I wanted to do like this too. And then I said to myself, I'm just going to see if I feel like committing to do it once a week or if I don't. And I said that currently I don't feel like committing to it, even though I feel like still will do it, and I will do it probably whenever I feel inspired to do it. But I don't want to commit because that's not what I'm feeling right now. And I realized that the whole thing that I'm building right now, I don't want to create any rules around it. I don't want to say to myself, oh, this thing has to be on if you want to call it an online school, or if you want to have, because I want to give you everything, like all the possible stuff. But I have limited amount of time, and I'm like, after 2 years working online, like a lot, I decided that I want to have a lot of offline work as well. So I'm trying to gather both of those sides and offer you a side way that is good for you, still getting something online, but also for me getting something offline. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. And one more thing that I feel like it's finally finalizing. I feel like October is going to be a month when I'm going to be in Slovenia. That being said, we're going to have an event. So that's all I know. I don't know anything about when or where or how or what are we going to talk about. I just know we're going to have something. So October it is. And yeah, up until then, no, we're going to see each other soon. Like on the next webinar. If you have any questions later, you can just drop them in a comment on online school. You have, when you have this webinar link, underneath their comment section, so you can write in this comment section whatever you want, and I'm going to reply to you. So thank you everyone for joining in, and I hope you get something from it, and see you guys soon. I will let you know whenever that's going to be. Thank you, and bye bye. Have a lovely day. Ciao.